Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is the Science Dispatch podcast. My name is Cameron English. That handsome young man over there, Dr. Chuck Dinnerstein, Director of Medicine at the American Council on Science and Health. Chuck, it's very good to see you.
And it's nice to see you, too.
We have an article that you wrote today. This is called Lying Eyes Go Bionic, How Technology is Rewriting Human Vision. If there's any headline to screw up, Technology is rewriting human vision. I think I may have just inadvertently proved the point of your story. We'll see. So here's the introduction, and then give us the lowdown. So you write, for decades, treatments for macular degeneration have focused on slowing, not restoring vision loss. A new retinal implant is flipping that script, turning patients with geographic atrophy into human-machine hybrids who can see again. It's not sci-fi. It's a glimpse at how neuroengineering might redefine what it means to be blind and human. Wow, that was poetic language, Dr. Dinnerstein.
Thank you.
So explain what's going on.
Okay, because I'm a boomer, and because I have boomer audio and visual tastes. About 2 months ago, the Fonz, Henry Winkler, returned in hundreds and hundreds of ads over geographic atrophy, previously unknown, at least to me, problem. And so when I ran across this article, which goes into depth about geographic atrophy and a possible treatment, I thought it was interesting, so I wanted to follow it up. So here's the story. Among the many debilities that we get as we age, there is the problem of macular degeneration, a loss of visual acuity. The macula is the central portion of the retina. It's responsible for our central portions of our vision, not our peripheral vision. And it's the area that gets measured with those eye tests. It's our acuity. As we age, the blood supply becomes impacted, and in many instances, the blood supply to the retina dies. And in that case, when the photoreceptors die, you lose the vision in that area. So the macular degeneration is the process of losing central vision as part of this ongoing aging process. And a particular pernicious form of that is called geographic atrophy, primarily because of the appearance when you look in the eye, when an ophthalmologist, an eye doctor, looks in your eye. It turns out that this is probably something, I believe, around 40% of the causes of macular degeneration in this age group. And macular degeneration is problematic. I think that visual loss is certainly a blow to your independence unless you're living in New York and can find everything you want on one block. Having grown up in the suburbs, you got to drive. And macular degeneration definitely interferes with your ability to drive in the evenings, get around, even navigate. So that macular degeneration can become a significant impediment to your independence. Hearing loss is probably comparable or even worse. I think that hearing loss makes you more isolated, but visual loss makes it more difficult to navigate your life spaces. So finding an answer to this problem would be worthwhile to improve the quality of life for a lot of people and for pharmaceutical companies to find a interesting market to work in. The medications that the Fonz are selling are designed to slow the process of geographic atrophy by interfering with the cascade that's causing the blood vessels to die. This new approach treats us as cyborgs and installs a photo display underneath the dead cells. And what goes on is that you wear a pair of special glasses, and the glasses capture the image and they transfer it by using near infrared signals to this photo array. And those signals are then follow the natural pathways from your retina into your visual cortex. So with some training, this photo array will restore your vision from legally blind to slightly blurry. That's huge.
Let me read this. This is your summary of the paper, which was published in the New England Journal of Medicine. So you write, the PRIMA system creates a cyborg, a human with a mechanical implant. It consists of a camera invisibly installed into a pair of glasses that captures authentic world images, processing and projecting them onto an array of sensors implanted beneath the area of retinal atrophy. Those sensors convert projected near-infrared light images into electrical impulses, stimulating the underlying still viable retinal cells, mimicking natural visual signaling and restoring functional central vision. And as you said, this takes someone's sight from 24/17 to 2042, which is, I mean, that's remarkable. So this is actually really cool science. And it sounds like if it's, I don't know where it is in the regulatory process, but if it's commercialized or it's authorized, this could really help improve somebody's quality of life.
Absolutely. It's an amazing piece of technology to develop a photo array that is thin enough to be implanted between two layers of your retina. Just as the thought. And unlike the Neuralink systems that Elon Musk is following, there are no physical mechanical connections between the array and the glasses, which means that there's no mechanical hookup between the computer and your brain, which means that there's no infection, which is huge, and there's not a lot of equipment to break down, and it's powered by infrared, so it requires no energy other than what's coming from the glasses. So this is a from a point of view of somehow hacking into our brains, this is a really interesting and intricate piece of work. The problems that they've had with it have been, not unsurprisingly, surgical, because you are still implanting somebody a piece of material between two layers of the retinal cells, and so there have been some episodes of bleeding and increased intraocular pressure associated with it. But in this very small study of 30, it's a clinical trial to get to the point where they can take it out to a phase 3 kind of a device trial. There was no loss of vision from any of the complications of surgery, so that the complications resulted in repetitive surgery, which has a physical and an emotional and I'm sure financial cost, but there was no cost in terms of losing vision from it. So there was very little in terms of the visual downside. So I just thought it was a very neat piece of science that can really be something to benefit our increasingly older population. The only thing that I think that's been comparable to that are the advances in the earbuds, because that has brought the price for hearing aids down from $5,000 and $10,000 to numbers that people can access far more readily. So for two of the treatable debilities, being, I love that sound, the treating debilities of age, technology and devices seem to be having a large impact.
My apologies, everyone. My neighbor wanted you to hear his Harley. It's big and loud. The name escapes me. What's that eye surgery that people get? Is it LASIK?
LASIK, yeah.
Okay. Is this, assuming it continues to move forward, is this that level of impact, do you think?
Well, LASIK was for for all of my fellow myopes out there. that didn't want to wear glasses. So there's a far larger market for LASIK surgery, but in terms of benefit, I think this system wins hands down. And and of course, as they refine it, much like the LASIK system that used to be, $6,000 or $7,000 per eye, which is down into a few $100s per eye now range, we'll see the same kinds of changes. And again, as I suggested, having a system that improves your vision like this restores a great deal of independence. And there's a lot of downstream savings that will come from that. If you can't navigate the house, then you need to have near total care. So having a system that allows you to navigate the house and make yourself meals and things like that, and keep you from having to go into some kind of institutional care or around-the-clock nursing care, and it can be a huge savings.
Yeah. Even just psychologically, I imagine, having to live out your golden years totally debilitated is probably very taxing.
Well, you ain't seen you haven't had the experience yet of having to take the keys away from your parents.
Yeah.
That's a big change, and if you could, by doing an implant, restore that for another year or two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big deal.
And I'll hasten to add, the system is not there yet. We're not giving them their car keys back yet.
But nonetheless, this is the sort of economic incentive that could make this work, right? This trial was for a year, I think, and it was a relatively small population, so we're not sure how this is going to affect people long term. But if those issues pan out as the trials continue, then that's the sort of thing like, you could save $20,000 on assisted living for your parents in a year or something like that. That's the sort of trade-off or opportunity cost, whatever the right term is. It's been a long week. That could make this work.
Right, and again, as you say, it doesn't even take into account the psychological and the emotional quality of life improvements that we get with it. So, in a world of constant catastrophe, this was a bright light that was worth sharing. Yeah.
Hopefully, not even Kennedy could screw this up.
Hey.
Uh-oh.
He has
Chuck,
other concerns,
Chuck's got some cognitive dissonance right now. That's what you're.
Well,
I'm just giving the good doctor a little bit of a ribbing. Okay. Once again, the story is called Lying Eyes Go Bionic, How Technology is Rewriting Human Vision. That's by our own Dr. Chuck Dinnerstein. That is at acsh.org. When you're there, click the subscribe tab, punch in your email address, and we'll send you the stories we publish. And the ones you read are usually the ones that we talk about here. Make sure you follow us on social media. We are on X at ACSH.org. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. ACSH Matter of Facts, hosted by Anna Dalaski. 1-minute videos, infographics, informative, entertaining science lessons. Go check out her work. We greatly appreciate it. And as always, we will see you next time.